Let's access or open our 3/4 portrait shot in Photoshop. We'll open that up. And of course, when it's a raw file, as an object. And at this point, we can crop a little bit, but the point of the assignment is to get as much detail as possible. So we don't want to be too far away, but if you feel there's just a little bit too much extra space on the outside edges and on the top of the head, of course, we can crop. Select the crop tool. Keep your ratio at 2 to 3. Ratio 2 to 3. That is the natural format. Well, not natural, but like the standard format for our digital SLR sensor. You can grab the corner and bring it down a little bit. I think mine's okay, but it does have a little bit too much space. So I'm just going to bring it in a little closer. But of course, if we crop too much, we're going to lose detail, and we don't want to lose detail. So I'm just going to center that, leaving a little bit of room on the top of the head and on the sides in 2 to 3 ratio, but not too much room, not too little. Give it room to breathe, but it's a close-up. Double click or check mark at the top. Then you may want to go over to your layers panel. If you don't see it, go up to window, make sure that layers are showing. Then you're going to come to this little half circle thing at the bottom of your layers panel. That's the new adjustment layer or fill. Click on that. And we're going to make a black and white fill. It gives us automatic black and white settings, and to be honest, I think the auto is pretty good. You could go down a proverbial rabbit hole on what's better and changing all these settings. Personally, for this, I would just leave it. Coming back to layers. So now we're going to come up to layer, pull down menu, layer pull down menu, and we're going to flatten the image. It merges everything together. There are more ways than one to make black and white images in Photoshop. I'm just showing you the quick and easy way for the purpose of this assignment. Then I'm going to go to image pull down menu, image pull down menu mode. And I'm going to change things to grayscale. A pop-up window will say, do you want to discard the color information that sounds so extreme, so high stakes? It's okay. Just say discard. And now we're in a position in grayscale to check our levels. Because although this is an average exposed image in the camera, things may not always be full contrast, full value range. In other words, full black, full white, depending on the situation that you have. Now I'm going to go to Image Pull Down Menu, Adjustments. Pull Down Menu, Image, Adjustments, Levels. And we'll see that histogram information. And my image at the moment, you can see there's a lot of information on the left. In other words, a lot of shadow, a lot of darks, not so much on the lights. And so I've got a feeling I can pull in this slider and make it look a lot better. One way to check that is to go to Info. Look for the Info tab on your right-hand side and your little tabs. And if you don't see the info, go to Window, pull down menu, and make sure that you've got info clicked. Now, when I zoom in on my image, and by the way, I can't believe how detailed this is. Oh my gosh, it's kind of scary. I see whiskers. I see pores of skin. I even see hockey scars on my face. If you move the ink dropper, we'll see that I'm happy with my darks. Up here, I've got a hat on that's black, and I'm pulling in 96, 97% on my K or black values. You see them in the info tab. But when I go over to my, light areas, they're lighter, but I can see I'm getting in my highlight on my cheek here, my right side cheek, or left for us as the viewer. I'm getting like 36% on a highlight. I think that could be more contrast. So I'm going to take my slider, and everybody's is going to be different depending on the clothes we're wearing, depending on our skin value range. But I'm going to slide mine over and increase a little bit of contrast, or amp up the lights by, dragging in that empty information. Now I'll go to my little info area, and you can see on my cheek now it's brighter. It's 12%. Yeah, that's good. The pupils of my eyes are 96%, you can see. The black in my hat is 99. I'm liking that a lot better. I think if I were to print this, or if I was to use this in a social media situation or for any kind of reproduction, it's going to be a much more high value, punchy black and white print. So just check your values. You want your lightest value. Maybe for me, that's, that little circle light in my eye, that's 0%. And then I don't want necessarily my skin to be 0, but I do want it to be, light enough, 20% or under. And the blacks, anything like 90% and up is going to be a jet black, particularly if you were to print it. So don't feel that you have to have the all-out 100%. It's been my experience that if you've got 90% black in your info tab, that is going to be jet black. I'm going to say okay. For me, I think this is okay. My levels are looking better. Say okay, for lack of a better way of saying it. Now that I've got my levels, I'm grayscale. Let's export this. Let's save this as a simple JPEG. Keep it simple. It's a universal file type. And I don't know, maybe you just want this as a JPEG image. It's kind of, I don't know, some people like these traditional 3/4 portraits of themselves. I'm not saying I'm going to put this on LinkedIn, but I don't know. If you want to keep it, let's just make it a JPEG. So let's go to export, file, pull down menu, export as. Up in the top right corner, make sure it's JPEG selected, and take the quality slider, move all the way to 7, make it nice and high. We're not going to lose any resolution on this one for the purpose of this assignment. And then we will, down below, click export. We're going to give it our title, your first name, last name, and then we will call it 3/4 portrait.jpg, and then that is what we'll upload to this assignment. There are 2 uploads. One is the traditional 3/4 portrait right here, and the second image you upload will be your persona self-portrait final edit and raw file. Click export, wait for it, and you're done.